Guten Tag. I have my black colored glasses on to make sure that I don't go rose colored glasses for y'all in this video, okay? We do have something super exciting, but at the same time, I'm going to tell you something that you don't want to hear, and I don't want to get rosy about it. All right, so what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all doing fantastic. As you see by the title, Nintendo doing the mostest for us. And honestly, it's interesting because today was a pretty big launch day. Quite a few games dropped on Nintendo Switch, including Minecraft Legends. Super excited to check it out. We've got Mage Seeker by the Moonlighter team, but a League of Legends story that's getting super good hype and great reviews. Very pumped for that. We also have a bunch of other titles, indie games. God is Rock, Rock God. God is a Rock, Rock is a God. God of Rock, I think, which looks neat in its own right, but Nintendo decided to come through and say, boom, we drop in a Nintendo Direct Indie World tomorrow, Wednesday, April 19th at 9 a.m. Pacific. Let me sleep, dear Furukawa. Thank you, he did it. Normally these things are at 6 a.m. Pacific, but they're 9 a.m. Pacific, which means you and I are going to be streaming this bad boy tomorrow morning. Click the link in the description down below so you can join me as we watch the reveal of anything but Hollow Knight Silksong. All right, I'll be streaming this Indie World early again tomorrow morning. That's going to be like noon Eastern for you, 9 a.m. Pacific for me. I'll be going early. But I need to let you know there's not going to be Hollow Knight Silksong. All right, we're going to get to some fun predictions, but Hollow Knight Silksong is what's on everybody's mind. It's what everybody's talking about, and it's not going to be there. Couple of reasons. One, Hollow Knight Silksong is too big to be a return guest at an Indie World. Hollow Knight Silksong has so much hype and so much anticipation and so much, honestly, worry surrounding it. I feel like this does not fit in an Indie World, which is usually light and airy and fun and boom. The only time games make repeat appearances in Indie Worlds is if they're ready to shadow drop, and I think Hollow Knight Silksong is too big to shadow drop. Therefore, bringing Hollow Knight Silksong back in an Indie World seems incredibly unlikely. Microsoft also put Hollow Knight Silksong in their E3 presentation last year, assuring fans that it would be out before next E3. Well, guess what? There's no next E3, so it can come out whenever they want. Now, I know that's kind of like a funny joke, and honestly, it's really quite ironic that E3 gets canceled and Hollow Knight isn't anywhere near, but I don't know that Nintendo also are the ones to have the Hollow Knight release announcement. Microsoft could have it, Team Cherry could do it on their own. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not saying Nintendo doesn't have it, but I feel like there's not a guarantee anymore. Could it be part of a direct? Could it just get a release date announcement? Could it be announced at Summer Games Fest? That to me seems the most likely. I feel like Keighley is going to have the Hollow Knight Silksong release date, and I think it's going to be September of 2023. Just throwing out a prediction. I don't have any source or leak or anything. That's just my guess. I just really feel strongly that Hollow Knight Silksong will not be there tomorrow. And if it is, I will literally eat my words. I will literally write out Hollow Knight Silksong will not be there at the Indie World Direct, and I'll eat it. That's my commitment to you. But what will be there? Well, first of all, a lot of new things. A lot of games that we haven't heard about, that we haven't seen, and that will probably tantalize us. These Indie Worlds are fantastic at putting the bait out there. And to be fair, they're usually right about the games being fun. They're usually wrong about the time. So many Indie World games are still not out. So many Indie World titles have never reappeared. Games like Sports Story took forever and then came out and ended up being sort of a disappointment. Games like Hollow Knight got announced and just who knows. And then there's lots of titles that are kind of just lurking in between. But I want to give you two games that I think could shadow drop tomorrow and could really change the week for everybody, because these two are highly anticipated. They're both from Devolver Digital, and that means to me quality, quirky, and a good chance that they could appear. We're talking about Pepper Grinder, and we're talking about Gunbrella. Two games that involve points. And I'm going to get straight to the point. I'll take either of these. Nintendo and Devolver, if you shadow drop either of these games, I'm instantly playing it, and I am going to be so pumped because Pepper Grinder looks fantastic, almost like a strange spiritual successor to Drill Dozer, with a girl named Pepper digging and drilling your way through an awesome environment. And then you have Gunbrella, which is like, I am noir detective man, but my umbrella is a gun, and that game just looks absolutely incredible. Now, a lot of people have also mentioned Plucky Squire from Devolver Digital. This could be a Devolver Digital party, but I don't think Devolver will launch any more than one of those games. And to me, Plucky Squire, given how in-depth it is, how awesome it was, that's probably farther off. I'm just gonna guess. Plucky Squire seems to be much more involved in the development, like from a development standpoint, than either Gunbrella or Pepper Grinder. Not to say one is going to be better or worse than the other, but that is my thoughts. Pepper Grinder or Gunbrella as the stealth drop tomorrow feels freaking fantastic. Now, another game I'd love to see pop up is another Crab's Treasure, right? Sort of the Dark Souls crab-like game. That one, it was featured in a past Indie World, but I'd like to get an update on it. And I know they typically don't do updates, but maybe that's something that also is ready to release or ready to have a release date. The biggest want, probably for all of us, would be an indie collab. Remember when they did Cadence of Hyrule and we were like, this is fantastic and unlike Nintendo. I would like to go out on a limb and say it's time for Metroid to get an indie collab. I know Metroidvania is already like the indie genre of choice, but couldn't it be amazing to see a Metroid take maybe in a different genre, like a tactical game or an RPG or something of that sort? I love what they did bringing Link and Zelda into Cadence, taking the, what is that game called? Rhythm of the Dungeon? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Crypt of the Necrodancer, right? That game became Cadence of Hyrule, or like that mechanic, and I'd love to see somebody else get their hands on Metroid or Donkey Kong, but as DK has not had his shine on Switch, I think they'll be saving that for a first-party debut. Now, will there be a bunch of games being ported over and finally put on Switch? I kind of feel like the well is drying up. Like, can you think of something that's on a different platform that you'd love to have on Switch? We got an Inscription last time, I believe. We basically have all of the big indies. Like, everything is here, right? Hollow Knight's here. Slay the Spire's here. Ori's here. Like, what game can you think of that's an indie title that is elsewhere that is really big that maybe you would want? Yogscast just dropped a new game where it's a roguelike twin stick shooter that's actually super fun. I just got it on my Steam Deck. That could, I think, appear on Switch, especially given that it just released this week, and maybe it's like, hey, it's coming also to Switch. That would be pretty, I think, fitting. In terms of anything else, though, like, we've got, like, the Shovel Knight's released. Sports Story is out there. I think there's going to be a lot of new faces and maybe some sequels. Could Katana Zero DLC make an appearance? Could the Celeste creators' new game make an appearance? These are things that would be major and massive. But in terms of like other indies that are on other platforms that would be great to get on Switch, I mean, I'm trying to think. One that sort of sticks up to me is Potion Craft. I know that game was really well received on PC, but it really functions better with a mouse. Other than that, though, it's like, I don't think we're ready to see Hades 2. Is there an indie that you can think of that's on PC or on Xbox or on PlayStation that is not on Switch and also is not like a thing? Like Chia, the recently released Islander game that kind of has some really cool aspects and got really good reviews. That's like a PlayStation thing, so there's no chance that that's coming to Switch, at least as far as I'm aware. We already have like Minecraft Legends, we have Minecraft Dungeons, those aren't even really indie at this point, so I'm at a loss. I think this indie world will end up being one of the coolest, because it's not about adding games that already exist elsewhere, it's about just introducing new games and possibly potentially dropping some super sick stuff. I think games like Gunbrella and Pepper Grinder and Plucky Squire have a chance to be Indie of the Year. So if we get any of those three tomorrow, it's amazing. And I also think this is the perfect opportunity for Nintendo to lend out a character for another epic indie collaboration. We've got 20 minutes to find out. Tomorrow, 20 minutes. And I'll see you guys on the live stream. Let me know in the comments down below your predictions. Are you cool with Hollow Knight not being there? Do you think I'm crazy? Will I eat my words? Or are you joining the Hollow Knight support group where we say, hey, you know what? It's crickets, not hornets from this game. In the meantime, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay obviously positive out there. Love you lots. Thanks for watching. SwitchForce out.